Hey everyone, I have Andrew here again, and we are going to talk about a subject that I think is super important for so many people to know about. It's called karmic contracts. Don't know if you've heard about them before, but I feel it's important because, we go through life and we play this victim role, and everything that happens to us, it's like we blame, oh, that and this and that. But the truth of the matter is everything happens as it's meant to, whether in our relationships and things don't work out, or with our business, with our work, whatever it might be that happens in our lives that we play the victim role and we feel is happening to us. It's happening for a reason. Like, it's happening to teach us something for us to grow and to expand from. And when we come into this world, we come into this world with karmic contracts. And so Andrew's going to go into more detail about what karmic contracts are, but I just felt called to talk about it because I just feel like it's an important subject. It's going from living out there and blaming everything out there to really honing within, going deeper within and finding meaning in the things that are happening in our lives. So Andrew, just quickly share a little bit about yourself again, and then let's do this.
Pleasure to be here with you today, Melissa, as always. My name is Andrew Genovese, and I'm a breathwork teacher, breathwork facilitator, plant medicine guide, nutritionist, healer. And I've gained a verse of knowledge on all aspects of spirituality, but started learning a lot about soul contracts a couple of years ago, and I think right now it's such a just a powerful thing to be able to wrap your head around, to understand karmic contracts or soul contracts, because what it makes us do is it makes us go outside the physical and understand why we're here and understand the bigger picture. 0.0001% is in the physical, 99.9999999% is in the non-physical. So before we enter a physical body, we incarnate into a physical body, our life is, is really predetermined. We know our soul chooses our parents. Our soul chooses what we're going to look like. Our soul chooses exactly what day and time down to the minute and what location on earth we're going to be born. So all these, why do these things happen? Why do we choose our parents? Why do we choose what we're going to look like? Well, they're simply, they're for growth. They're for lessons. They're to learn. When we incarnate as different races, different sexes, we are able to learn different things in different bodies with different shapes and etc. And so all these things that our soul chooses before we enter in a body is not by coincidence. It's all predetermined by source, and our soul chooses all these things. Our soul chooses, your soul literally chose to be here during this epic time of 2020 and this time of ascension. So one thing that's super profound is this is so just amazing. Your soul has been preparing for this moment all of its lifetimes, for so many lifetimes, to be here for this moment now. And that's really profound.
I love that.
Really profound thought to, anytime. For some people, I've heard, through just people saying like, oh, I'm just so over this, or people posting funny memes about like aliens and like, hey, where's the exit plan, or like, beam me up. I love it. It's super funny, but we really did choose to be here, and it's all how we want to take this time and raise our vibration and understand our purpose here.
Wow, it's unbelievable. Absolutely incredible how it just puts meaning to everything. The truth is like, we're not just these physical beings going around the world. We actually are energetic beings with a soul purpose. And so it's like when we shift our perspective to that and realize that we all come in here with our own unique gifts and purpose, and when we align to love and we connect back to the present moment, then we are definitely going to move much closer to whatever it is that we're meant to be doing in this, you know, in this world. So do you have any recommendations for people in terms of like really honing in on that and connecting more with what is their purpose or gifts or reason for incarnating into this body?
Yes. So yeah, sure. I'll give some examples of kind of like how these soul contracts like play out in our life. So, you know, we might know someone that's in just like, you know, the most miserable relationship or marriage, or maybe someone has been married like 4 times, and we're like, what is wrong with Sue? Like, why can't she like find a man who loves her? Why does she keep attracting the same guy into her life? Well, in this lifetime, in this physical body, her soul chose to get married 4 times so this could be a lesson that she would learn. And if she doesn't learn that lesson, that whatever vibration she's at, she will continue to attract the same vibration of a partner in her life. So until she has the awareness and the consciousness to fix those wounds, she will continue to attract a partner that is of that same vibration. Once she elevates her vibration and starts to realize that, okay, like I am enough. I don't deserve a husband who's abusive, or I don't deserve a husband that's constantly telling me I'm nothing, and I can't do this or whatever. You know, it's not until she has that awareness and consciousness till she breaks that soul contract, because she becomes aware and finally attracts the 5th partner or whatever into her life that is of that higher vibration, that cares about her, loves her, is kind and compassionate, and those things. Okay. You know, another example would be like, you know, someone being like homeless. You know, someone could walk by someone that's homeless and say like, look at this guy. Like, why, like, you know, I've heard people say, you know, bullshit things like, oh, why doesn't this guy like get a job? Or like, why doesn't he want to work? First of all, this is like a total lack of understanding of the system and how this man got to this point. You know, probably had parents who were heroin addicts or drug addicts or extremely abusive, never was taken care of, never was taught anything. And all this trauma passed down to leave him on the street, to never give him any of the skills that it would take to understanding trauma and how it works and how to heal all those wounds. And, you know, that someone judging someone for example, being homeless is a total lack of awareness of the self and emotion and trauma, and in that lifetime, that man is filling that sacred contract of understanding what it's like to be homeless and have no material things and to live on the street. And while that's really sad, you know, and a hard thing to understand, that's, you know, that is what they have to go through. I actually had a girl reach out to me through Instagram about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. And she said, hey, Andrew, I really love your content and I love all the things that, you know, you say, and it's really inspiring, but like, I'm like in full like panic mode, and I like have no money, and I'm about to get kicked out of my apartment on the 1st, and I don't know what to do. And I'm starting to like, I don't know what to do, and I don't understand why this is happening to me. And I said, look, this isn't probably what you want to hear, but rather than playing the victim and feeling bad for yourself, no one's a victim right now. You are not a victim. And there's going to be a luminous teaching out of whatever comes of this. Now, I give you my utmost love and compassion, and I understand that it must be challenging, but this is what you're being dealt in this lifetime, and you have to navigate it and surrender to it. And she said, okay, so I just have to surrender to the fact that I'm going to die on the street. I said, no, that's you having a pity party for yourself. And I was like, again, I have ultimate love and compassion for you, but you have to understand that this is being given to you to show you something, to be a teaching, for your soul to grow. And I get it. In the moment, that's a really hard concept for someone to wrap their head around it. with the analytical mind, the ego mind, because people want to go, no, this is bullshit. I don't want to experience this. This is not fair. Why me? But we have to go through these things for our souls to grow and to elevate and to learn. And I think one of the best examples. No, go ahead, Melissa. Do you want to say something?
No, it's just like everything that you said just now is such good, most important information, I feel like, for us to know as human beings living on this planet, because ultimately that is the truth of all of it. Like, we play this victim role and then we feel bad for ourselves and then we blame out there. But when we shift our attention and, you know, go more within and understand that all is happening for our greater good, and we are constantly growing and evolving as human beings, and each experience we can learn from. It's just like the way you said it and the way you put it was such clarity. And like what you were telling me about the homeless man on the street, and it's like my whole body got chills, my eyes were watering, because it's like I never really went that deep into it. Like, I've always felt compassion, of course, and I always like would give whatever I can, but I never went that deep into the whole homelessness. And it's really emotional, and it's like, it brings up a lot, but it's also very true, because they have their karmic contracts, and whatever those karmic contracts are, they are serving them out in this life. And so that's why we can't, you know, you don't feel bad for this person and all these things. Like, they're all living their soul contract exactly as it's meant to be. And so thank you for saying it so beautifully. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, for sure. You know, if we don't understand, you know, the bigger picture of why we come here, then it's so easy to drop in that mentality of like why me? You know, like playing the victim. In this time of 2020, no one is a victim. There's all a greater plan in us moving, you know, out of the dark ages into the golden age. And, you know, in the dark ages, there's a big polarity, big contrast between light and dark, and beings that come here to bring more love to the planet, and beings that are counterbalancing that love and bringing darkness, whether that be, you know, being a part of a gang, or whether it be child sex trafficking, or whether it be literally laundering money or whatever. But, you know, now that polarity is really going to slowly start to diminish and diminish and diminish as we move into this total new era. I think my favorite example of a soul contract is health, sickness. So when someone you know, has a serious chronic illness, and they go to a doctor, or better yet, a healer, someone who actually knows what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
And they go to a really gifted healer, and they say, hey, I've had this chronic I've had cancer for 12 years, and it just keeps coming back, and it keeps coming back, and every time I've thought it was going to get resolved. And I've seen the best people in the world that paid out the best money, and I feel like I can't beat it. You can't interfere with what source has planned for that person. That you can't. Like for me to say, you know, like, to do this breath work 100%, it's gonna get rid of your asthma, or it's gonna get rid of your allergies. And a lot of the times it does. It gets rid of skin conditions, allergies, asthma, all kinds of things that Western medicine can't do, just from me teaching people breathing. Like, it's that powerful. But to promise someone like, hey, it's gonna happen for sure, would be coming from ego from me, because for example, going back to the person with cancer, that person who goes and sees the best healer in the world, it might be part of their soul contract to continuously contract that cancer again and again and again. There's no telling. You can't interfere with Source's plan, with God's plan. That's just not how it works, you know? And we want to be able to then understand it, like, well, why me? Why did I know so many people that were able to beat their cancer, And I couldn't, I ate healthy. I did everything. I was eating all electric foods, all plant-based, meditating every day. Sometimes it doesn't matter. That's what that person has to face in that lifetime to learn, and for their soul to grow, and for that to be imprinted in their DNA, in that soul contract in their lifetime. And same goes with, like, when you're a thief, or when you steal from somebody, you might have something happen to you in another lifetime that counteracts you stealing from people. Like, you get your car stolen from in the next lifetime because you were a thief in that next lifetime. So we're always having things happen to us, and things to learn from that kind of counterbalance, or have something to do with whatever lessons we've been giving in lifetimes. And oftentimes, we'll be playing the same role as a healer, myself, or someone as a scientist, someone else as a plumber. And we'll have different things happen to us in order to get there, for our soul to grow and learn, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I don't think anything could be more helpful to learn than to understand why we're here, and to be able to wrap our head around the fact that we're never a victim. None of us are a victim. And that, understanding the bigger picture allows us to look at everything with less judgment and more kindness and compassion.
Oh, so beautifully said. And like, the truth is ultimately we all come here to grow and to evolve. And we choose our parents, we choose the parents that we were meant to have. We say thank you for all that you taught me, because a lot of the time, like, it's a journey to get there, but a lot of the times it's like the blame. So this whole thing is really powerful, because it really is about, like, instead of blaming, kind of going more within and knowing that everything that's happening in our lives is happening for the greater good. Even for, I'll give you one little example before we say goodbye. My husband was driving home last night. He's supposed to leave to go away this morning, and he got a nail in his tire, and his tire was flat by the time he got home. And he sent me a message, because he ended up stuck for a few hours here. He's like, that was the way God wanted it to be. That was the way it was meant to be. So for whatever reason, he wanted me to delay my trip. And that's how we all have to start thinking about life, because it's so true. Like, every delay, every whatever it is that shows up, even illness, like, thank you. I have a really good friend who found out she has breast cancer, and she's understanding the connection between, her mother and her breast, and self-care and self-love. And it's like, that's how we have to start treating illness in the body, is kind of like going deeper within and asking, what are you trying to show me with this dis-ease, this imbalance? So I thank you so much for this amazing and incredible interview. I think so many people are going to benefit from it. It's so powerful, and it really is all about, we come into this world with a divine purpose, and we have to keep our energy focused inward instead of getting lost out there, and remembering that we all come for a reason. And we're all here 2020 at this time, because we are here to shine and share our gifts and heal. So, thank you so much. This was awesome.